Kia ora, everyone. My name's Helen Walter and I work for the State Services Commission. We've been working with government agencies in Christchurch to capture and learn from some of the innovations that they've developed following the Canterbury earthquakes. So through the rest of the afternoon session, we're going to show you 3 video clips. Each of them will be about 4 to 5 minutes. And just before you see the first one, each of these clips picks up on the conference theme of sharing. And actually listening to some of those, the 2 previous examples, it reminded me that how much people are at the heart of innovation. So these clips will sort of give you some different examples of how information is shared and how agencies are focused on their shared client and come up with some really amazing stuff. It took an earthquake to be the catalyst for these particular models. And SSC is now looking at how we can get more of this kind of innovation happening in the public sector without needing a national crisis to be the kickstart. So the first clip is something called the Earthquake Support Coordination Service. So to me, this one demonstrates a really different approach to funding NGO services. It's client-centric. The service provided spans multiple arenas of activity, but it brings everything back to a single point of contact for the client. And it's underpinned by a single database that's accessed via the web by members of a virtual team who themselves work in a number of different agencies. I think it's really exciting and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah.
My name's David Griffiths and I work for the Ministry of Social Development, and I'm here to talk about the Earthquake Support Coordination Service. This is a service that was established following the September earthquakes and broadened following the February earthquakes. The service helps people through the process, rebuilding their properties and rebuilding their lives. The service is there to support people as they have to deal with the multiple issues they will face as they go through the issues of rebuilding and earthquake-related issues that will last for some years to come. To date, we have worked with over 5,000 clients and we are currently working with around 2,200. This service is a partnership. It's unique in that it's a partnership between government departments, 2 government departments, and 15 non-government organisations that collectively have 72 staff working in this area. What makes this service unique is 3 key areas. The first is the multiple access. This service can be accessed in a variety of ways. It can be accessed through an 0800 number, through the web, by visiting a NGO that's delivering the service, by visiting any work and income office, but also by going through Fletcher's, the Fletcher's hubs. We have staff there, and we have staff in the earthquake assistance centres as well.
So my name's Elena. I'm based from an NGO, the Aranui Community Trust, and I'm an Earthquake Support Coordinator. I'm here today to give you a brief story on Mr Smith and his recovery through the earthquake. He presented at the Trust some 3 weeks after the February quake. We sat him down and listened to his story, and at that particular time what he needed was some help in going back into his property that he'd vacated on the day and hadn't been back. So we rallied around a group of volunteers. We went back to his house and we began to clean it up, and as you can imagine, food was everywhere, the power still wasn't on, so it was a pretty big mess. We began to clean it up, and we also at that stage contacted EQC to get some emergency repairs done for him. A couple of the volunteers built him a long drop at the back because chemical toilets and portaloos went around at the time, and we found his insurance papers, contacted them. Mr Smith, with being in his 80s and living on his own, was also having problems with sleeping at that particular time. So we also organised some counselling for him, some trauma counselling, which was really beneficial.
Once you access this service, the focus really becomes onto the client. You go through a triage process where you are attached to a coordinator that may have the specific skills that you're looking for support in. You'll go through a needs assessment where a full assessment of what you need at that particular time is undertaken, and then a recovery plan is put in place to help you through the recovery process.
So they were kind of the early days of Mr. Smith's recovery. Since then, we've used multiple different agencies. We've contacted EQC and had one-on-one sessions with them, so he knew exactly where his claim was at and what process he was going through. Meetings with his insurance companies. We've had meetings with Fletcher's in regards to what repair work was going to be done on his house. We've gone through the accommodation team when he needed to move out while the repairs were being done. The financial assistance team, we've supported him with Red Cross grants. Just a number of different things to help Mr. Smith in his recovery.
The third aspect is that this service has enabled the 2 government organisations and the 15 to date non-government organisations come together to share resources. It's underpinned by a web-based database that is able to be accessed so that clients' needs can be fed into that database and managed. We have a shared management process, a shared governance process, and we're able to tailor to the needs of our individual clients, working off the strengths of the skills and the individual skills that the NGOs bring to this service. The NGOs are funded through MSD via the Family and Community Services service line. So in summary, this is a unique service that has come out of the needs following the earthquakes. It's linked directly to the client, it has multiple access points, and it's allowing government and non-government organisations to share resources.